Alright, so this is World War Z Aftermath. Now, I'll admit one thing. The design of the character models and the, I guess you could say the outfits that they're wearing is far more flashy and fancy in comparison to the standard models of the original World War Z. But to be completely honest with you, I wouldn't say it's that much difference. It's not like you could do something with the outfit that they're doing. I mean, that they're wearing. It's not like you remove her helmet and then put it onto the body of someone else, or make her shirt longer, or her shirt shorter, or make her wear like jumpsuits or something like that, or make her bed have spikes, things like that. It's not like you could modify certain characteristics of the individual within the game itself. No, that's not what this is. So, um, based on just looking at the characters as I downloaded, and then I checked out the mission and I looked at the various different characters they have set up. I could pick on for Rome. Um, Once you select that mission, and I played it on easy, and now I have it set to hard. I wanted to see firsthand how these characters act within the missions, but I didn't record it before. So now I'm recording it now, and I would say the characters function exactly the way that the normal characters function. Now these are just new characters with the same type of movements, same type of skin, same type of behaviors. The voice modulation is just different, and the type of design of the outfit is just different. And yes, there are some new type of weapons, new type of bats, and new type of ways in order to do executions specific to certain type of weapons. But it seems like they only emphasize this within the melee weapon itself. They didn't give those type of characteristics towards guns. And the characters that you're playing with seem kind of empty and shallow. Um, they're well-designed models and well-designed characters, but are they worth $20 as an additive DLC or expansion of this world? Is all that pretty much looks like the characters or behaves like any other standard character you would play on New York, Jerusalem, Moscow, Tokyo, Marseille, or Rome. Because to be honest with you, the characters from here, to be completely honest, the characters from here is no different than the characters from here.
In small groups of 12 to
In
20
fact, you could say
members.
certain characters from here are far better looking and more interesting than the characters from here. But their operating
In small
system of how
groups
they
of
do
12 to
certain
20,
missions
75
are kind
decibels
of the same.
resulted in an 84% attraction rate. 100 decibels resulted in 90.
So I would say overall, after my evaluation of the first the first play of the game itself on easiest difficulty, it could get up to real high stakes when you decide to up it to a much harder mode, and you can fail real quick because these are fast moving monsters. But as the core aspects of the characters themselves, it doesn't feel like anything is different. It's changed since Marcel, since they included the French characters. Um, it feels kind of like the same as the people from Marcel. It feels just like the same French characters. They just live in Rome. Um, they don't behave. They don't run differently. They don't, you know, they don't run. One person run with a limp, or one person run like jogging heavily, or one person run slower, one person run um, at super speed or anything. They feel like they're all running at the same pace. Even if you slow down the pace of those who are much bigger, the animation seems like the same type of movement. They don't run differently in their bodies and stuff. So it's an expansion of the game, but it doesn't feel like expansion of much else within the game. It's an additive towards the game itself. I just purchased the tickets to go and watch a movie, to watch additional things within the movie rather than a new aspect of the movie itself. So it's not really worth $20, to be honest with you, as an extension, because $20 to the in this day is not much of anything for an individual. But if you multiply it up per every thousand or so people, that's a lot of money. It's the same value you would pay to go watch a movie, but on the difference between a movie and this can be played over and over, and you could do it again and again and again without having to have to pay the fee, because it's a game. So it seemed like it's worth the price, but it really isn't, because if the game is, if it feels kind of like hollow, then there's really no point in purchasing it. I mean, if you're a World War Z fan, then it's a worthwhile $20. But if you've never been a World War Z fan and this is your first time playing the game, or you've played the game once in a while, you really shouldn't purchase this DLC, because I mean, I don't know what to tell you. This seems it doesn't seem like much else has changed since Marcel. And when Marcel came out, it doesn't seem like much has changed since the original tile sets and maps of the game. It just feels like every single time that they made a different additive towards the game, they're just adding something very slowly towards the game and asking for more money as they go along the road, which is the common thing within the video game industry. But you have to realize, if you do something more than once, or if you do something more than twice, because people could deal with more than once, but they can't deal with more than twice. If you do something more than twice, then that's going to start really pissing off people. And in my opinion, this is not worth it. It's not worth $20. I mean, if they say this DLC was $10, I will pay the DLC. If they say the DLC added towards the game was $5.99 or $6.99 or $7.99 or $10, yes, but it's not worth 20. There's no way this is worth 20. Not in hell. No way in hell. Even though even the Zombie Army 4 stuff are far better than this, and the characters in here looks far more interesting, but Zombie Army 4 has more things that you could do with their additional characters and so on and so forth. And that game isn't that great anyway. It's just average. I would say World War Z falls below Zombie Army 4 when it comes to interest and hype of the game itself and creative things you could do within the game. So World War Z would probably be a 5.9 in my book when it comes to game. It's just slightly above average, but it will never get to that 6 range. So I will show you that as I play this game, I'm going to pick co-op. I'm going to go inside, I'm going to do Rome, and I'm going to compare it to Marcel. And if you've played Marcel before, you'll see the difference. So this was the first added DLC, I believe, Marcel. And then this is another expansion towards the world. This is and this one, number 6 and 7, additional expansions towards it. Because the first expansion was Marcel, and then the next one was this and this. So we'll see. I mean, I'll be completely honest. New York, Jerusalem, Moscow, and Tokyo. You had 4 maps, or you have 4 expansion planes. And then within those 4 expansion planes, you had certain mini maps within those expansion planes. And back then, the game was worth more than $20, more than 30, to be honest with you. And for just 4, and then for the type of animation, the type of story, and added value, it wasn't even. So what I'm saying is, it wasn't worth it back then, unless you're a World War Z fan. But when it went on sale, it was worth it. And I think that's the problem with a lot of independent companies. They try to up the stakes with regards to what you could purchase, so they could make more money and make their game better as they go along. But if what you're offering isn't good enough from the start, people are hesitant on giving you more money to better your game down the road. Um, And I think that was the problem with the first game. And the added DLC, Marcel didn't do much of anything. I'm pretty sure that they saw that themselves. That's why we have Rome and Kamach. People were paying a lot out for Marcel because this it's been a while since they've seen it. But I'm pretty sure that the value that they were expecting to get wasn't that great. The value that they were expecting weren't that great. And I believe that they are assuming that the value for this one will be great. They have, I believe they have a bigger budget and more promotion towards Aftermath than towards any other aspects of the game. But it's not a promotion that was worldwide, and you hear about it every now and again in certain places. But it's not like something that was hugely promoted. So they even didn't have budget towards distributor for Aftermath that great, just like they did for Marcel. So they're expecting to make money, but probably equal to the amount of money that they were making with Marcel. And if they make more, that's great for them, but I highly doubt it. I think once people see Rome, um, they will see for themselves that, man, these people don't really care as much as they think they
In
care. They
small
only make
pools of
things look
12 to
fancy
20,
and throwing the
75
same crap
decibels result
over
within
and
an
over again.
84% attraction rate.
So we'll play Rome on average difficulty, and we'll select the character. So these are the characters. You got the bike rider. You got the old man. You got the girl who's the engineer. And you got probably the NASCAR guy who used to fix cars and stuff. Who's a drunken guy who's kind of almost about to lose it. So I would say everything's pretty much the same since the last DLC. Nothing much has changed. Nothing much has changed. You just have a new map, new tile set, new ways to fight zombies. But it's still the same type of zombies, the same type of traversal, everything pretty much the same. So we'll see. So it's up to you whether based on what you're seeing that will interest you in playing this game. But I'll tell you from my experience that it it will require a hell of a lot more than what we were given to for me to consider moving forward within another DLC if they bring another one out. Um, because if for the next DLC, if what I hear isn't up to par, that's better. Well, not up to par, but better than what we were offered here within this one. I'll never purchase another DLC. In fact, I think since we were offered Marcel, and we thought Marcel was going to be that much different from the regulars, we weren't get that. And then we got Rome, and we thought that was going to be different from Marcel. We didn't get that either. So it's safe to say that these people heard the criticism but decided to ignore his criticism. So I'd say it's time for World War Z to go into the tubes. And maybe when this game can come on sale, the next DLC goes on sale, maybe I'll purchase it. But this is not the type of game you want to pay a full price or the DLC at full price. You want to play for their stuff at sale, bargain sale prices. They're not even worth it.
If we don't get to Minerva soon, it won't matter if we leave or not.
Let her rip. Incoming! Tons of incoming! Can't wait to use this. Shut up! I see the noisy one!
Slowest winch ever.
You have a lot of winch experience? Keep them on!
They don't make stuff like they used to.
Quit your bitching, old man. Are you sure? Please!
I'm sure the winch isn't winching. Gas bag's dead. Hurry up with the solenoid. More Zeke will come.
Going to rip them apart.
It all helps. Here it is!
Got the order.
Scratch 1 hour!
Hurry up with the solenoid.
Somebody came to look up.
He's calling in Marcy!
So I don't know if there was a bug there, but I was in first person mode. Now, if you already know Zombie Army 4 is third person, so I don't know if there's been an option for you to get into first person mode Zombie Army. I mean, not Zombie Army, World War Z. And if there is, that could be interesting and more helpful towards people who want to see things in first person. But it really doesn't take away from the actual gameplay itself. Whether this game is in first person or third person, the enjoyment factor is not going to be increased simply because you're in first person now in comparison to third person. So I'm checking my settings and I'm looking at first person mode was on. And I'm pretty sure I took that off, or maybe that was on by accident. Or maybe that's the default setting. But I'm pretty sure I never turned that on, and that just happened on its own. But who knows? Maybe it was something that I didn't see before. But regardless, whether you're in first person mode or third person mode, it won't really change much of anything whatsoever at all. It won't change anything whatsoever at all. The game is an average zombie army. An average World War Z game. Nothing too special, nothing too great about it. It's pretty much all the same. To me, Zombie Army is far more impressive, and has far more things that you could work with. I have no idea what these people are thinking when they made this game, but I'm pretty sure they're more into the artsy fartsy part of this game instead of into the what do people enjoy more, that's function more within the game, that there would be more interest in, that will work for us and will bring more value to our game and something more interesting we haven't explored yet. I think the things that they explored with regards to this game were things that to make their lives more easier as they're doing the game. That those things that they did to make their lives more easier as they're doing the game has nothing to do with what's within the game itself. And the proof is in the pudding. There's not much difference from then to now that has been improved. You're throwing first person mode, right? You're throwing different things that you could climb on. Not much has changed there. Throwing different tiles at different maps. Not much has changed there either. It's just different location. Different characters. Not much has changed there. Just different characters and different outfits. And it's not like you could do anything about the outfits either.
When was the last contact with the engineering squad?
So I think these people who made this game to explore a different level within the game and how to better do certain things within the game are things that the gamers are things that the
That was Minerva's rendezvous point. We start there.
We should never have been out here.
Nobody else knows how to set the audio lures.
Well, there's no final push without them.
and you know what, let me just cut down the chatter. And so I think when they made this game, they made improvements towards everything that was in the other game. Like slight improvements towards everything that's in the other game that they wanted to explore and to make better. So they could say that they've improved their capabilities and how they do video games better. But I think those improvements are very small in comparison to leaps. I believe if you keep moving forward small and that you do something that's dramatically different but functions within your game, um, you're not really making great improvements. You're just making slow, steady forward improvements. And I think the people who made this game are simply doing a job. Um, they're not doing it really out. It doesn't feel like they're doing it out of love. It feels like they're doing it to see how well they've improved from one point of view to the next point of view, and then from there to the next and to the next, and so on. They continue their career and expand their career, and to show that they've made improvements over the years per each individual year. But they're not doing anything within the game itself to show that the game has improved itself year per year. It just feels that it's just a show of their improvement from what they have done, included into the game now. Not the game has improved from the last game to now. It's just a show of their talent from then to now, not a show of the talent from the game itself from them to now. So I think they completely lost the point of what they were trying to do within this game. And I think, I would say shame on them for actually wanting to charge $20 for that. So I will not be purchasing another World War Z update, or probably play World War Z in the future. Not until they drop the prices of their things, not until they give us something that's vastly different. If I get online and I see pretty much the same old, we'll never do it. I will wait to someone who's a game evaluator, no matter who they are, do it first before it's purchased, first before it comes out. So even if they promote their next DLC, I will never do that. I will wait for someone who's a game reviewer to do it, and then I will purchase it. And here comes the reason why game reviewers get a lot of popularity, or game streamer reviewers get a lot of popularity, because people are tired of the gaming industry bullshit. No one wants to play a game to see how well you've improved your capabilities within making a game. They purchase a game to see how well the game has improved and things they could do from the last game to now, not your level of your art or skills have improved within the game. Seeing what has improved from that game to now as accessible things that they could do that they couldn't do before. Not an improvement towards the things that were always there from the first game or second game or third game, and you just slightly improve those things that were always there from the beginning. It's like Madden. Madden is an example of that. That each and every Madden game are slightly improvements, stepping forward, and this game seems to be following the same formula. So yeah, that really pisses me off, and yeah, I don't think this game deserves any recognitions. At least Zombie Army 4 tried to do something different, even though their stuff is kind of the same. These movie title games really aren't worth it, and that's all I have to say about to this game. I'm just gonna play the DLCs, rush through them, just to put them on this video and then get it out the way. I just wanted to make sure I get my little rant on that for $20 it's a failure, straight up failure. It doesn't deserve it. And the stuff that they're wearing, the stuff that they have, the stuff that they're doing, you can't do anything with that shit. You have costumes that you can purchase that you could achieve by playing missions in horde mode and challenges, and then you get costumes. But it's not like you could do anything with this costume. You just have them. You can't move them around. You can't fit them all. You can't expand them. You can't put them on other characters. You just have them, and that's not something great. You know, it's their engine is limited because based on their budget is limited as well. So for them to be charging $20 for an actual DLC attached towards theirs, I mean, when you purchase a DLC worth $20, it has to be something like a goddamn Bloodbourne or something like that. Now that's worth something because you're actually getting an expanded world with far more interesting and far more difficult. Not this like cookie cutter shit. So fuck this game. I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna play it from beginning to the end, and I'll say the game is okay, but the DLC is a piece of shit. So when I say fuck this game, I'm meaning DLCs. The Marcel DLC was a piece of garbage, and this is a piece of garbage. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're not doing it right. Period. And I will not be purchasing any more DLCs. 2 is my max limit. From there on out, I'll be checking out streamers who I'm pretty sure game developers and game creators loathe because they know that those people are brutally honest. But you get what you get. You deserve what you get. I mean, these people came into existence because people like them exist. So you get what you get and you deserve to get it.
So my grandfather
Period.
was buried here.
Let's try to avoid a family reunion.
It's locked.
Grave scabs must have gotten pinned down there. Check bodies for a key.
Watch for the lurker.
Now see, if you first purchase this game, you would not notice. And it will seem that, oh, this is cool, because it will all come as one lump sum game. From the first game at the beginning all the way to additional DLCs. You purchase the whole bundle as one and you get everything. So you'll be able to play all the missions all together. But if you play the first game and then get DLCs after DLCs, then you will see the difference. But if you get it as one lump sum thing, then you won't be able to see the difference. And that's why it's important for people to always speak on these things. Whether it's for games, whether it's for food, whether it's for anything. Be able to point out shit behavior when it comes to making anything or doing anything. And to let the rest of the world know. If you're going to charge someone to something, better have value to it. Otherwise, you're just robbing the people. Or you're not putting in effort. Your effort is only into your art form, but not into the idea of making certain things work the way they're supposed to work from one game to the next or from one DLC to the next.
Skeletons crawling. Must be a lurker. Nothing here.
One dead lurker.
Spread out, hit everybody.
No luck. Help! Someone!
Shoot these things! Enough!
We can't stay here. Keep looking.
Nothing here.
Now, if you notice, you've noticed the rats are something new, and they can attack you because they're infested rats.
Stay here. Keep looking.
But they don't have no infested birds or no other animals. They just decide to include rats, and you can't even do anything with the rats anyway, because the moment you take a melee swing towards anything, it goes in an upward vertical motion. So if the rats is below you, it's not like you go press down on the floor and then it will press down. They didn't decide to even include that mechanic in there. Like to use your melee weapon to actually slash downwards. You have to actually shoot, and not only shoot towards to try to get the rats off, but possibly shoot your character on the floor. So that's shitty.
What can I use? This'll be fine.
This could be it.
Hate those creeps.
Grab the door breach.
Why is that gate not open yet?
Gate's open. Let's move.
Does anyone copy? I'm in the Basilica. Can anyone hear me?
Luca, we're here to get you out.
The rest of Minerva is pinned down in the monastery.
We're coming to you first.
Are we trying to sneak through?
One of you shot me.
Where's that lurker?
Kill the lurker. Vesta, our Lucas trapped in the church.
What about the others?
Getting down to the monastery. Next stop.
This fence is the best way in.
That was good.
Mental note. Strip these wrecks for parts later.
Stay on task, Grease Monkey. No stragglers. Don't leave these defenses behind.
How do we get to your crew?
Through the catacombs, but they were chasing me. I flooded it, blocked the entrance.
Get us back in. We'll take it from there.
Oh, we can use the winch, but Zeke will hear it, and it's not fast. Get the charge ready for a fight before...
Start it up! Where should this go? Have fun, little buddy!
One dead lurker.
Yeah.
Take this man.
What a beautiful machine!
Will it go any faster? We're lucky it works. Look out for the big one.
The winch turned on a solenoid. Just move on the outside.
All right, any other hits?
Please, I need help! I owe you my life. He's calling in more Zeke! Yep, that's better. I'm going down! Ah, perfect. I can work with this.
Been waiting on that solenoid. Found it. Somebody get to Luca.
Back in business.
Who has a med kit for me?
Stay away from that pole. Inspector sighted us. Damn it!
We need gas. It's stopped.
There are gas cans in the yard. Automated.
Got the gas! Fuel going in!
Winch is running. Yeah, but for how long?
through.
Stay close. Lots of dark corners down here. Eyes peeled for the lurker. We need you to keep fighting.
I knew you wouldn't leave me. Here's the flood. The pump zone.
That can't be all you got.
This thing's all over. You know I'd do the same for you.
Rounds of defenses.
What a beautiful machine. Okay, get the pumps going. Ah! Ah!
Breaching door. 5, 4. They're back here.
Big one is down.
Auto turret is online.
Ah,
Activate.
perfect. Turn the pumps on.
Time for stealth mode.
What a beautiful machine. Okay, get the pumps going.
Watch for the lurker.
I'll make this work.
I see movement in the water.
Lurker!
It's going to kill me. Ready or not, here they come.
This is our city! Pump stop! Find the controls! Incoming! Lots of incoming! Ugh.
Friendly now.
Everyone, over here! If you don't breathe through your nose, it's not so bad.
But then this thing is in your mouth.
Damn it, I'm out!
Get all around me.
Anything worth it?
They're on our way. Hang on. I guess we keep fighting. are resting until the job's done.
That was a close one. Thanks.
I have a briefing job.
Ladder to the surface, here! We can't leave you behind! Let's go!
Swapping mags.
Vesta, we've got eyes on the monastery.
Yeah. Meno male. Go get him.
Ah! Get them off the fence!
Huh? Apollo squad out of nowhere.
Take back all this shit I said about you. Vesta, Minerva squad is ready for evac.
Hold up, you're getting company. Spotters are reporting a swarm.
Order is down.
This'll be fine.
Yeah, fine.
Door breach in position. Fortifications acquired.
We wired up a fuel pit outside the fence. Light it up when you're ready.
There are meds here.
Let's want that screamer!
Reloading!
Bring my AK.
I need to get it off of me.
Lurker! I see him!
Well done. Thank On the right! Focus fire! Machine gun
Bring
in
it on!
place.
Door breach goes out.
The right tool for the job! Got to stop that bull!
Beating on me!
Look out for the big one.
We're not leaving you here! We're in this together! How many do I owe you?
Shoot this thing!
Yeah! Yeah!
Baby!
Move on the left!
Here comes the swarm!
Here come the dead!
Increasing firepower! I'm out of ammo! Oh! 'Cause I got 'em! 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 'Cause I got ' All the engineers are safe.
Get them back here immediately. They've got a lot to do before the final push.
We tell her we're going on vacation.
He can take me to Venice. Just got word that we took it back.
Grazie a Dio!
Let's get to work. Can't let Venice show us up, huh?
So what I'll do today, I'll do all of Rome today, and then I'll do the other location tomorrow, the DLC. I mean, I really think it's kind of silly that they had more than a year, and all they could think of is just 2 additional maps, for $20, and extra characters and extra weapons and stuff. But, it doesn't seem to be worth it. No. I mean, it really doesn't seem to be worth. I mean, I keep thinking to myself, going back and forth, maybe this game is better than I thought. But then I keep thinking like $20 for just 2 maps, 2 additional maps, and then additional weapons and stuff. It's not like it's difficult to create a weapon. You just take the old weapons and just replicate certain things that make them look different, and then move forward. And the Vanguard class, it's like a shield, like a Vanguard shield, like more like you're like a tank. You take damage. I don't see how that works within the zombie apocalypse, but hey, it's whatever. Honestly, I hate waiting on people. I'm not that person. If I have things set up already, there's no need for me to wait. Now, if you notice, if you notice, if you could see the difference, if you see the difference, it feels pretty much the same as all the other previous maps within previous games. They're just more open areas because it's obviously Rome, so things are more open rather than enclosed, like subway stations or parks or certain um, European locations that are more open compared to, like, say, city streets or towns where it's more enclosed. But it's pretty much the same thing. It's like the best part of the game is when the zombies are attacking you and you have to fight for your survival in impossible situations. That's the best part of the game, and how you use it tactically to destroy them. But that's about as great as it gets with regards to the game. Everything else with regards to this game is no better than any other average AA games, if I could say them, or whatever independent games that I've seen before. Originally, I thought this game was about a 4 below average, but as it progressed with the playing the game, the original World War Z for the second time, I would say it was about a solid 5 because of the horde mode and how much you can push forward in the horde mode and enjoyment of playing with friends. If it wasn't for that horde mode, this game would have been below 4. But these additional DLCs towards main missions and certain weapons and stuff, it's not like they're extremely unique type of weapons that make the gameplay so much more fun that you will want to invest in the game continuously past those or the average of the game itself. You're more interested in the game now because there are new characters, new locations, and new things, and new ways to level up, and new perks. That's it. But when those new things become standard things, as time goes by, it's pretty much same old, same old. So they really haven't done anything to distinguish themselves from the old ones. So I'll play this mission, and I'll do Rome for today, and then end it off with Rome. I won't go past Rome today. I'll continue to other location tomorrow. I mean, there has some interesting looking characters based on the style that's within Rome. At least that's what their perception of style that's in Rome right now. I was visiting people that are staying in Rome because I guess the in thing now is the crop top. But I'll be honest with you, crop top tattoos and all that bullshit. Like, one generation's fancy stuff is another generation's barf. And what's currently fancy now is not going to be fancy in the next 10 years, or even 5 years. I just laugh at the stupidity of it. If you're going to make a game based on things that you take from reality, it has to be something that will last beyond a decade. It's still appealing and interesting to its audience. Alright, so we'll go forward. Should I turn up the volume? Maybe I should turn up the volume a little. Alright. So the characters look like... So, see, now here's the other thing with regards to the game why I say it's not as good as you think. As the collections, you have characters. And under each character, you have descriptions. Now, the original game, they put effort into making movies because they know the game itself wasn't that great of a game. It was like a movie licensing. So they wanted to make certain additional animations towards the game. So you get to know a little bit about their backstories. So they create stories like this.
It had to be seen.
Create drawings and words and actions. And they put it towards each of the main characters of the game at the beginning. Like Shola and, not like Shola, like
there's never a moment when you forget.
These animations, because they didn't have the money and budget to put it in 3Ds. So they wanted to explain it from the point of view of drawn scenes and words. But here's the thing. Since the original game that featured all these characters, including the ones from Russia and the ones from Japan, they each had their videos. The DLCs, they never decided to put the effort in to create the animation or the stories for the DLC characters because they're DLC characters. That's why I created effort to something that's not a game. But the weird part about it is the game itself, when it first came out, these additional things with regards to characters are unlockables towards characters. But once you complete all who they are, and then they're unlocked. Now, I've completed all these characters and storylines for each of these characters, but nothing was unlocked. So maybe there's something new, maybe there's something different. But as you can see, there are videos they may decide to expand the videos for Sho, expand the videos for Kimiko, expand the videos for Taitsu, and expand the videos for Hiroji. Yet they couldn't expand the videos for their new characters or the DLC characters from France. So I don't understand that logic. Could it be that the person who had the contract for creating the stories for the original game, they brought that person back in and say, hey, we want you to do something for us, and the person decided to say sure. and it will pay you the same amount. Great. But based on maybe what they were doing contract-wise, they could only do a certain amount, and they couldn't do additional other things at the same time. Or maybe the person who did the animation videos for each of these characters were a specific team. Like for the New York, for the New York team, there were a different set of people who did the animations and the character models and everything for them. And for the Jerusalem people, there are different characters, and for the Russia people, the different Tokyo people, or different groups of people, different teams, like 4 different teams working on this game. And in my mind, I would say maybe the people who were supposed to be working on the Jerusalem and the Russia didn't show up anymore, or didn't want to do it anymore, but the people who did the character sets for Tokyo were willing to do it. That's the only reason that would make sense, that they will still have videos for the Tokyo people, but don't have videos for the DLC, the first DLC with the French, and then the most recent DLC for Rome. Like, why would you not make videos for these people, but yet you make videos for additional factors towards characters that you originally made that were over here? Because these are the very same characters. So the only thing that I could possibly think of is the original artist who did the videos for these ones didn't have the time, or it wasn't paid enough to do all these. Or, if he was asked to do all of them and he refused to do all of them, then they weren't going to work with it anymore. But I don't think that's the case. It makes more sense that there were 4 teams working on each of these individual assets right here. 4 characters, 4 tile sets, 4 worlds, and now they're not 4 different teams anymore. And the original artist, 4 different artist types that were meant, or maybe it's the same artist type, but the guy who did the videos for the arts didn't do the videos, or he doesn't work with the company anymore. But that's the only reason why it would make sense why they would have videos for these ones attached towards the main story of the game, and there were no videos for the attached DLCs, because the person who did the attached DLCs is a different team or a different set of people who aren't on the contract to do anything additional towards the game. That would only make sense why they're not doing videos. Like, why would they not make videos towards the DLC characters whatsoever at all? But yet, you see at the bottom, it's the same characters. They decide to make videos for them. These are new videos that came with the DLC. But yet they even make videos for the DLC. Which, that's why I said it leads me to believe that this is a new team that has no obligation toward old contracts and are doing things differently. Which is real shitty, because now you totally make yourself look stupid. You then start putting effort into making a video for your new release aftermath. So that makes no sense whatsoever. And it's kind of stupid, and it's kind of cheap. And it's not like this game have a whole lot of stuff added towards this DLC. It doesn't at all. This makes no sense. And so from the last DLC to this DLC, I'll say they're pretty much about the same. There's nothing to hype about this. Nothing special about Rome. It's just Rome. It's just a new tile set. But that's about it. That's about all it'll be. So I'll play the next level. And it goes to show you, that how much of a low budget these people have. The last DLC, which was the France location, they only had one map, um, like one huge plane, I should say, and then several locations, map locations within that one huge plane, and that's it. And 3 additional characters, or 4 additional characters towards that one huge map. I mean, that one huge plane, and then certain maps within that one huge plane. So it's not like they have the budget to do grandiose things, but they have the budget and balls to ask for grandiose money. So that's the standard when it comes to people who make these things. It's like they think people are stupid, like, hey, but you're just paying $20 and we did all this hard work. It's like people aren't dumb. They know that $20 from one person isn't all that great. Even $20 from 1,000 people isn't all that great, depending on the budget for the people who made the game itself, um, which is far more of an investment. But but people already know that there are more than 1,000 people within a given location, or within a borough or a town. And then there are far more people within a city, and there are far more people within a state, and there are far more people within multiple states. So they're not fooling anyone asking for something like $20. They're getting far more than the value that they should.
I don't know how many. Last known location was just south of Tiger Island.
Anything more precise?
No, they're not responding.
Shit. Copy that, Vesta. We're moving.
I'm gonna say it again. This plan is too ambitious.
You want to hide forever? silencers if you've got them.
And here's another thing about this game. I mean, I wanted to play this game, but here's another thing. When you go into first-person mode, you're stuck within that mode. You can't shift back and forth with your hands. In first-person mode, you're locked towards, facing your gun pointing down sight from the right. And the window, the more open area, is on the left. And you can't switch back and forth using R3. But when you go into third-person mode, you get the options. That's why I said this game is kind of lazy. Because here, you get the options to switch here, and to switch here. So now the screen is switch, you see? But you don't get that option in first person. In first person, you're just here, and you stay here. So that, to me, I don't understand that. It seems like this DLC and the last DLC were done lazily, but the value of which they asked for isn't worth it. I think, from my point of view, $20 isn't good. $15 should have been the actual value. $10, $15, most. $20, that's too much. Because look, it's still the same zombies, they're still attacking you, it's just everything else looks different. So look, it's a nice little pretty location. Pretty stylish things, different traversal, very vegetal. I mean, very open, very I would say it's like a vegetable. I would say it feels like a vegetable, like like a giant tree inside of a vase. It feels like a huge vegetable inside of a vase. But that's not what it is. It feels like a very breath of fresh air type environment. That's how it feels like. But if you look deeper within, it's more the same. Look past the color of the building, look past the design of everything, everything to replicate to look like towns or cities or locations within Rome. You could say that's kind of accurate, but it's very this open state doesn't give it value towards the core aspects of the game itself.
Lurker gone.
Where's that lurker?
Killed another lurker!
There's a lurker nearby.
Yeah, and I just want to emphasize the point that tight corners, shadow drop shadows, And everything else within the original game is pretty much the same. There's not that much innovation. And when people say, well, you know, you shouldn't be judging a game if you haven't made a game and so on and so forth. You don't take rocket scientists to see something as subpar. I mean, if a kid could see it, if a child, not even a grown adult, could see that there's something wrong, you know, it's pretty much the same. Like, even if a child is not too bright, not too intelligent, you know, or have some type of dysfunction about them when it comes to communication or towards games, that they don't understand it, but they understand the factor of enjoyment and fun more than everything, even if that's the only thing that that person, whether it's an adult or child, understand. The execution of that fun and enjoyment is limited to what you see in front of you if it's all the same. Because if you experience it before, you know what to expect. And if you get what you're expecting, then you're not as keen to enjoy the moment, and everything that seems somewhat up in the air. There's no point to it.
This place is creeping me out.
Like you'll feel like you don't know anything. Like, who knows where everything was gonna go. You feel like, well, who knows where everything is gonna go. And then when you come and actually play the game, it's like, well, it didn't go anywhere. It's just more the same. And say, who knows? Like, everything was up in the air, and like at this point in time, we didn't know what to do. But then when you really start thinking about it, it's not up in the air anymore, because it's completely expected. So even if you're like a truly ignorant person and you don't understand anything about anything, then you know your intelligence level is subpar, and you're not putting any effort into trying to learn. Even a subpar person with low intelligence can tell that something is replicated from something else, and that the enjoyment factor towards what you were supposed to get versus what existed in the beginning before. Like, see this. Like, this is what they gave us. Freaking rats, man. That's what they gave us. That's the new type of enemy, a rat. And it's not like the rat is doing anything particular. You just go over you and that's it. It's not like the rat is equal to a gas bag, or the rat is equal to a lurker or anything. It just comes and it goes. It has no value whatsoever to the game. It makes no sense of why it's there. I have no idea what they were thinking when they made this. I mean, they wanted to explore a different location and explore different things with regards to the next level of the game. But it doesn't feel like the next level of the game. It feels like the same level of the game, but at a different location.
Luca, we hear you. Luca. There's the bridge. Luca!
He's attracting others. Stop him.
Listen up. We've
Fire up ahead.
see your bomber. That all you got? Climb over the bus.
I mean, does it? I mean, I'm not sure if I'm getting my point across with regards to this game. It doesn't feel any different than any other part of the game.
Kill the
What is the first mission of the game, or the actual game itself, not the DLC, or the other DLCs? I mean, look at this. It feels the same. It's just the air is open, and the colors have changed from more bleak colors to more lively colors. I mean, I guess I could get complicated about the whole damn thing. I mean, I could get complicated about the whole damn game, and then point out certain aspects, to an extreme. And I could go into the mesh setup of the characters, or the mesh setup of certain links and movement, and the mesh of the world itself. But I'm not going to do that, because I don't feel like going complicated on something that's not even worth talking about to that level.
Keep an eye on this auto turret. They don't stand a chance. Auto turret reporting for duty. Everybody, light them up. Kill the bull. Yes, please. Miss the bull, you get the horn. Bring in my A game.
Another thing about the this game is
Bring it on.
like, if you notice the movement of the zombies from the old game to the movement of the zombies now, they seem to be moving much faster with their feet, as if they're not running extremely fast, they're running ridiculously fast. That's not logical towards their existence.
No stopping me now.
Concentrate fire on the streamer.
And this is another thing. Why are they switching towards me? I can see all the characters while I'm down. Why don't they just switch to all the characters? when I'm dead, completely dead, not when I'm down.
Move to the Vatican, Apollo. Minerva's got a lot to do.
Copy that, Vesta. We're out of here.
I mean, I guess you could say that if you, once you're down, you could look to see who's available on the map and see if you could call out to them if you have a mic. But if you don't have a mic, it's pointless. It really don't matter to switch. You have nothing. You need to use your waypoint, and I don't think you can use your waypoint when you're down. You only use that when you're up. I'm pretty sure they thought about that, so maybe you can use it when you're down. I haven't gotten into that, but I doubt that you can.
Round 2, let's go.
I mean, everyone knows that nowadays when people make games, it's kind of like a big old beta test to see how people experience it, and then they make improvements to it during the next update or the update after that, which is just shame, which is really, really a shame because it says that their imagination and their creativity towards making a game wasn't that great to begin with, that they're simply company stooges, company mojos. It's there to do a job, and hey, if it happens and we need to fix certain things, we will do it during the next period. We just need to make sure the game works and it gets the point across to what we're trying to get the point across, and that's it. So that's kind of the generation we're in right now. And that's very sad. That's why this is not the type of game I would even consider to a friend or anything. Not unless they're actually a zombie fan. If they're a zombie fan, I would recommend it because they have a variety of different type of zombie games to play. But a standard fan, I would never recommend this game to a standard fan of gaming. Let's do a standard fan of zombie gaming, maybe. The game as a total is okay. If you include the main game and you include the DLC. But if you've never included the game itself, I mean, what am I saying? But if you've played the game before without the DLC,
Eyes peeled for explode. We're gonna need a key card to unlock.
you'll be able to tell the difference.
Searching bodies again.
Here's the marker. Keep looking.
There's some bombs around here.
Watch out! Explosives!
Lurker is down. I'm reloading.
Infector over there! Take them all! Covering fire! Someone help Watch out! Explosives!
Need some meds. Got to reload. I'm getting too old for this shit.
And that's another thing. Characters repeat the same thing over and over again, just like the original game. You would think there was some effort into expanding the words of the characters. It's simply words, that's all it is, just words.
We should sneak through if we can.
It's that hard to create additional dialogue beyond like 4 different things they say when they're standing in one place. I mean, they're supposed to be a replication of a simulation of real people. Like, if you're going to simulate the characteristics of real people, you have to simulate all the aspects of characteristics of real people, limiting them down to 4 words.
Search them all!
It isn't much of anything. It should be, the characters should be limited based on actions or things that they're doing at the moment. I thought I searched all these bodies. Guess I didn't.
Yes, please. I got nothing.
We can't stay here. Keep looking.
Keep looking. Here it is.
Here's a good example. If they're in a place where there's a lot of dead bodies, they should feel the stench of the dead bodies when they're near the dead bodies and react to it, not just be numb to it.
Nothing in your way.
And I'm pretty sure that they try to do that within certain missions, so they should be like that in every map and every mission. If you're actually simulating the behaviors of certain situation, like if you walk too close to the car, you know, or put her foot on the car like this, you should be able to run over her feet or something like that. Or the character said, "Are you trying to kill me or what?" Certain things. Like if you're trying to simulate certain things.
This is going to get messy. Put your foot down, Luca.
Wearing armor.
I thought that was the end for sure.
Get out of my way!
Get going, Luca. Pushing ahead. Need some meds.
And you know the old saying about people will always bitch about something. There'll always be something they'll complain and bitch about. When people bitch about things and they're always bitching about something, it's typically because that you didn't do it the right way the first time. Like if you got it the right way the first time, they point out little discrepancies in the game rather than a lot. Because if they point out little discrepancies, it's mostly things that they particularly see that that's unappealing to them. But those are minor discrepancies that's called nitpicking. But if they're not nitpicking, that means you fucked up. Period. If people aren't bitching about something that's nitpicking, you fucked up.
Heavy inside. Luca, stay in the truck. I'll let you know when we're ready for uplink. Saturn's still tracking the horde and will assist if possible.
Need some meds.
Quietly, as we go.
Now, there's so many things wrong about this game. That's my point is, I'm trying to make my point across. Like, I lowered the volume down to 1, and it feels like it's not down to 1 at all either. Like, at a certain point, the voice escalation of characters, whether it's a reaction within a mission or a reaction of an explosion or something, it seems much louder even though I lowered the mastery volume down.
It all helps.
Like, these things, these small things that you could figure and you can point out, and you would think that these people would see it and realize that there's something wrong there. But apparently, I'm pretty sure that they didn't see it.
All about the defense.
Or, which is standard, that they didn't want to see it. Because this doesn't play into the value of what they're trying to do. Or where they're trying to go at the moment without spending a certain amount of money. That's unnecessary risk towards their financial gain.
Mortar is good to go.
If you Okay, so here's the thing. You see that the bull charge to run a certain line, but he didn't run around. I was here, and it ran and he got straight towards me, even though I was there. So they've made it in a way that the bull, when he charged and see you and he charged your ear, it could run around corners as well. I guess you could say that's a good thing. But at the same time, logically, that makes no sense. Like, if you're charging at that speed, you can't traverse around corners like that. You will automatically fall in your face the moment it happens.
Round 2. Let's go.
But these are supposed to be like super zombies and stuff that they could do things that are considered almost impossible.
Finish off that gas tank. Here comes the bomber.
Now, see, even that, I don't even mind failing that mission whatsoever at all. That even goes to show you how unimportant the game is at this point. I have no intentions of finishing the game. I want to finish Rome, but I'm so upset in everything I'm seeing that I have no interest in pursuing it further from here. I could pretty much say I wanted to die in a certain sense. I mean, it doesn't feel as entertaining and has the value that I wanted to have, like certain zombie games. Like people say they play Call of Duty Zombies or Killing Floor 2. That's far more entertaining and fun, but I've played those games. And it feels like just rinse and repeat nonsense. It doesn't seem to have as much value to it as, let's say, Zombie Army has. So when people say, well, Zombie Army is kind of boring, like, boring as compared to, like, say, Call of Duty Zombies, which is actually really boring. Like, if you think about it, it's only fun because you're doing it with your friends or with a group of people. But if you do it by yourself, that's actually boring as hell. But with Zombieland 4, even if you do it solo, it's still somewhat more entertaining than any other zombie game. So I find it incredibly ridiculous how people compare and see things. And the industry is the same way too. I have no respect for this game. Past its original inception. Its last two DLCs are subpar at best. And I consider myself to be much worse than Rome, to be honest with you. And that came before this one. And maybe they were trying to fix that with regards to this one. But to be honest with you, in my mind, it's too late. Once you screw up twice on your DLC, it's not good enough. I mean, I guess to their point, they don't want to deviate too far from what they built. But if you're simply just hopping forward just slightly a little, it's not a good experience because you're just hopping forward slightly a little from your original content. You're not giving something that's groundbreaking and new, or something that makes it more appealing or interesting towards the overall content. Yeah, World War Z is an average game. It's a 5 point something, whatever you want to give it. I don't think it has value beyond this point. And its last two DLCs aren't worth it. I couldn't even finish Call to Arms because I was just disappointed by what I'm seeing, and disappointed by how I'm playing. The swinging, the execution of guns, the movement of bodies. Everything seems to be just copy paste. Pretty much the same old, same old. So maybe tomorrow I'll finish the final push and then do the last part of the characters from Tokyo. Not new characters, same damn characters. Just new skins on them. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. In fact, I'll probably won't do that tomorrow at all. I'll probably do that some other day. But I wanted to experiment and see how. I wouldn't say experiment. I just wanted to see the overall package that I was getting. And, if I order something in the mail and I get it, I'm expecting it to be a little bit better than what I originally had from the last one. Like, the last movie should be lesser than the newest movie. That's what I'm trying to say. Or if it's going to be on the same par of the last movie, it has to have certain additives or additional features, certain things within it that make it greater than the old movie. If it doesn't have a quality to be better than the old movie. And unfortunately, that's not what this game is. It's pretty much on par with the original game in every aspects of it. It just looks fancier. That's it. Its image is the most changeable things in the game, not its gameplay. And certain things were added, certain first person, certain monsters, certain way to use your melee weapons rather than standard all melees work the same. Slight things were changed, but that's about it for this game. And slight improvement to your games and your DLCs or your expansions, however you want to call it. It's not a large improvement. So if I gave let's say I gave the original game a 5.5, I would give this game, say, maybe 5.7. And not just this aftermath, but inclusion of Marcel, the last update too. Because from this update to last update, there weren't that much improvements within the last update. So you could pretty much say the last update, they slightly tweaked that last update to appeal more in this update. So, yeah, this is a 5.7 game. I don't believe this is even deserves to be a 5.7. To be honest with you, it's more like a 5.5 game. But if you have incredible enjoyment of the horde mode and you like the different type of perks that this game comes with, that's very helpful. I could see this becoming a 5.8, even a 5.9. But 5.9 would be really, really, really pushing that envelope for that 6. I don't think this game deserved that 6. I think this is a 5.8 game. If this game falls into the 6 point anything range, it would have to be something that very impressive to impress me. Like, this is a slightly above average game. An average game is a 5 game. There's a 1 to 10 ratio, and it checked off all the boxes and did everything correctly. And that's average. And then it got certain slightly things better or correctly that made it good. And those slightly things weren't even exceptional. They were just average. It doesn't even deserve an extra 1, a full 1, with anything that's groundbreaking, anything that's distinctive, or anything that's so fun that it would deserve a full 1. All its groundbreaking and exclusive and different things are all very small, minor tweaks to get to that 1. So if I really was to compare this game to, say, Zombie Armor 4 or Killing Floor 2, and to me Zombie Armor 4 is a 6.7 game. Like, if I really want to be fair to this game, I would be fair and give it a 6. I mean, Zombie Armor 4 is a 6.7 game in my mind, even though Metacritic have like a 6.4, 6.5. In my mind, this game is really the most I would ever give this game is a 5.9. And if someone was to convince me how great this game compared to other games, or how great this game is better than Zombie Army 4, better than Killing Floor 2, and give me examples, even if they gave me examples, even if those examples are exceptional, I would give this game a 6.2 most. I would jock it up from my average, say 6.7. That's what I gave this game. I mean, not 6.7, 5.7. This is my score for this game is a 5.7. But even if someone was to convince me I'm completely wrong and completely stupid, even my completely wrong and stupid self would give this game 4 additional more points. Maybe even 5 if they're that exceptional at jive talking. If they're that good at jive talking and shooting the breeze and convincing, that much of a gigolo at words, I would give it an additional 5. I don't think it would deserve anything more than a 5, and you have to be completely insane. And I would probably laugh at you in your face if it got more than that points. If it's on the same level of Zombie Army 4 when it comes to critics, I would say that people who put that there are completely fucking dumb. And if I go into Metacritic and I find out it's even close towards Zombie Army 4's ratio, like if Zombie Army 4 is at a 6.4, and then this game is at a 6.3, I would say that's an incredible insult. An incredible insult. Extremely incredible insult. But if I see this game at a 6.2 and Zombie or Army 4 at a 6.5, then I could respect that. Then I could respect that because this game is in the high 5s category to the low 6s category. So the highest, like, maybe 5.5. I mean, the lowest maybe 5.5 and the highest maybe 6.2 most. I don't think it even deserves to be 6.2, but if someone really likes it and weighs the pros and cons, they can get it up to a 6.2. With Jive Talk, they weigh it to a 6.2. But this isn't beyond 6.2. And I'm talking about 6.2 as the whole package, the game itself, as well as the DLC including. If you subtract both the DLCs, both Marcel the DLCs, the France DLCs, and the Rome DLCs, and that additional Tokyo DLC with those characters was completely dumb. And just the main game itself without any DLCs attachments. This game is a 6, period. Like if you were Jive Talk, the original game itself without any DLCs, it would be a 6. I mean, and if you weren't good at Jive Talking, and there weren't no Jive Talking whatsoever, and the person was to be very cruel and bold to this game, they would give it a 5 on the dot average game, or a 5.1 or 5.2, if they wanted to just be sympathetic towards it. And that's my overall sum of this zombie, or World War Z aftermath. It's not even worth it. I find more value in World War Z. I find more value in Zombie Army 4 than this game. And even though this is the newest game, even though this is the hottest thing right now, play when it comes to zombies, it quickly became stale after 2 or 3 tries. The first time I play it, it seems average and interesting. The second time I play it still seems average and interesting. And then today I play it to see, while I'm streaming, I start finding certain things that are completely annoying. So during my third play of the story, I start to realize it's pretty much the same old same old. Nothing much. I've got nothing much to say about a game that's the same old, other than I'll never purchase any other DLCs again. I'll wait for a streamer, I'll wait for Metacritic, I'll wait for someone on Twitch to give their opinion, and if it's not good, not going to purchase it. I had Alien Fireteam Elite on my mind in order to do that, but I quickly changed my mind because people said it wasn't good and it wasn't doing great. The same thing they said about Predator Hunting Grounds, and now Predator Hunting Grounds is within the PlayStation Plus store because nobody wants to play it. And it'll be the same for Alien Fireteam Elite. If they don't get their shit together and figure out how to save that game, it's going to be in the shit can, and anything that's not that great shows up on PlayStation Plus, or anything that is great takes years upon years upon years before it becomes old and people don't want to purchase any of it anymore, and then it goes up on PlayStation Plus. But it have to becomes really old, and then they throw it up on PlayStation Plus. If it's new and then it got thrown up on PlayStation Plus, let's say it came out last year, and then this year it's thrown up on PlayStation Plus, that means you failed. It takes only a year and now your game is on PlayStation Plus, that means you failed. Or you cut a deal with PlayStation Plus because you ain't making money off it. That means you failed. But if you like something like Bloodbourne, or you like I don't know, Dark Souls 3, or Final Fantasy 7, and you're making money and you end up on PlayStation Plus, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and you end up on PlayStation Plus, is because those are rare occasions. Those are you either just been in the game for so long and so many years have passed that people stop playing, or you're more recent and you're trying to get more money from different avenues at the same time. Because I automatically know if a game is doing well, very well, and it's getting higher ratings and it's possibly being nominated for an award, and then boom, one day it shows up on PlayStation Plus. It's not because that game is not doing good. It's because they want to make additional money in different platforms or a different area to get people to be interested in the game. And everyone knows once you get a free PlayStation Plus game, it's based on subscriptions. And those games are like Final Fantasy VII are limited for a certain time period. So once those games are gone, if you don't jump on it, it goes away. And it's the same you could say for any PlayStation Plus game. But here's the thing. Now in this generation, even if it shows up on PlayStation Plus, you won't be able to purchase certain features of the game or have certain features in the game because you'll only be allowed to play the multiplayer and the solo version of the game. additional things towards the game. There are things you have to pay separately. So I was very surprised when I saw Final Fantasy VII, but I also understand it from the point of view of they wanted to make money wherever they wanted to make money additionally, because they already made the type of money that they wanted to make, and they got everything that they needed to make, and they scored the value and met their quotas the way they wanted to make. So for it to show up in PlayStation Plus, even though they met the quotas and got what they wanted, means that they wanted to now give the game freely through purchase or service purchase, so that person could, so they could get money from that service for you to have their game. So that will only make sense why something like Final Fantasy VII will be in the PlayStation Plus, because they already got everything they wanted, and now they're trying to get additional money from PlayStation Plus under subscriptions. And that's the only thing that would make sense there. Typically, anything that shows up on PlayStation Plus subscriptions are usually garbage stuff to keep the game alive. But if a game is popular and it's making sense and it's moving forward, that like Bloodbourne is easily it's based on time, or it's based on you want to make money off subscriptions. So if something like World War Z pops up in PlayStation Plus, which it probably would never will, suppose they're not making any money off that, and the game isn't doing well. But these people will never pop up in PlayStation Plus because they figure that they have a loyal fan base and they want to stay independent. They don't want to depend on individuals like PlayStation Plus or PlayStation itself. They want to be an independent company, make the type of games they want, and get the little money from here to there. But if they don't do something, I'll be completely honest, the company will stay where they are. They will go nowhere. And they'll deserve to not to go anywhere because they don't get it. Those last two DLCs are subpar. They don't deserve it. And they won't go to a PlayStation store because of they're trying to get subscription monies. They'll go to a PlayStation store because their game has failed. It's the two type of people that go to PlayStation stores, or two type of games that go to PlayStation stores. Games that have been around for a long time and now show up in PlayStation Store, and games that have failed. Every now and again you get the third one. Games that are successful, games that are still doing well, games that are still making money. And those guys only show up when the company, whoever the company is, want to get in on that subscription money. That's all. Or at least make a percentage of that subscription money or whatever contract for that subscription money. But that's it. That's all I gotta say. World War Z Aftermath is trash. It's pretty much every other World War Z before it. Nothing new, nothing special. It's a different tile set, different costumes, all more the same.